my lovelies, welcome to another channel. Today I have 3 pretty easy banishment spells for you. So if you have someone that's in your space who is a bit of a bully or is quite toxic, they're an energy vampire, they're a narcissist, you know, someone who's just on a very low vibration and seems to be like attacking you, these 3 spells can be very effective if done with all your intents and energy to make that person sort of like cut away from your life and disappear and stop them basically attacking you. So basically it stops the psychic attack, because when someone is focused on another person in a negative way, they are literally sending you like negative energy. It's a form of a hex. So that's what you're getting rid of, and that's what you're cutting away. Now, the first one is probably the most simple, and it's probably best to use only for like annoying people, I suppose, who you just want to, you know, distance yourself from. Nothing too like abusive or serious. But I call it the flush spell. So the toilet flushing spell. So all you need is a bit of paper, toilet paper, because you don't want to clog your toilet. So do not use normal paper, please, whatever you do. And so on this paper, you're going to write the person's full name. So it has to be, you know, their full name, first, middle and surname. Jeff Martin Doe. Okay. There you go. So Jeff Martin Doe. And then you put their date of birth. Let's just put 10th of the 8th. Oh, I don't know, 93. He's a younger sort of guy. So Jeff Martin Doe, their full date of birth. And if you can get a piece of their hair, then that would be even way more effective, because then you actually have their DNA. If you kind of like, you know, a very close, you know, range of them, maybe try pick a little hair off their coat or, you know, something like that. If you can't do that, because most people won't be able to, then that's fine. Just like picture them in your minds. It might help to even get a photo of them up on your phone just whilst you do the spell. So basically what you need to do, you can just leave it at that, or you can write on the back. Now, you always want, and you can probably do a little pentagram as well, that's protection. Oh God, that's a terrible one. I'll do another one. So the pentagram symbol is a sign of protection, and it represents the 5 elements. So do not confuse it with the satanic upside down pentagram. So there you go. I banish you from my space. Go with love. So mote it be. Obviously it's backwards for you. And then what you do is fold it away. So you're just folding it like this, but turning it away from you. And then say that mantra. So say their full name and their date of birth and that mantra 3 times, holding it clenched in your fist against your heart, and always do it from a space of love. Like, it is never a good idea to do it from a space of hatred, from a place of, you know, that negative heavy energy, because then you might create some karmic debt coming back to you, because then it can be seen as more of like a hex. And you don't want to do that, because then you can induce karma basically. And you don't want any sort of negative karma coming back at you. This is just a way to, like, you know, separate from someone. You're cutting the etheric ties from someone. And it's a way of protection. So it's not a hex, it's protection. And it's a way to shield yourself more potently. So then you drop it in the toilet, flush it away, and boom, done. So that's a very quick and simple one. The next one that you can do takes a little bit more effort. So again, this time you can use a bit of paper, and this time it's a pretty similar thing. So you just write their name, date of birth, and you write the same thing, the same mantra. So there you are. I think it's backwards, sorry, because I'm using my phone and obviously it's like reverse. But I'll write it up on the side bit here, the spell basically that you need to write. So then same thing, fold away, cute little fluffy pen, fold away, it's not real fur by the way, I am vegan, fold away, so then you get it nice and tiny and small. And to make this one more potent, you can bind it with black ribbon, black string, preferably something that's sort of, you know, biodegradable. So it's better for the environment, because what you want to do with this one is, if you have a river nearby, you want to go to a river or a fast flowing stream, and basically you do the same thing. You hold it against your heart, you say the spell, you say the mantra, and you picture them in your mind, and you use all your intents, and then you throw it into the river and you let it flow away. So it's kind of very similar to the toilet one, but it's more connected to the earth's elements, so I believe it's possibly more powerful, I suppose. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. And to make it even more powerful, you can actually print a picture of them if you can find that. On their picture, just write their name, write their date of birth, or on the back of it, you'd write their name, date of birth, and then the mantra. And again, if you have hair, their hair, or something, you know, that has their energy on it, then you can use that as well. You can put it inside the parcel as you fold it up. And if you do have ribbon, you can tie it with that, or, you know, some sort of string that, like, again, will be, you know, non-harmful for the environment. And there you go, that's the river one. And the same thing, don't have hate in your heart. Visualize scissors cutting your etheric cords from each other whilst you're doing it. So as you're saying the mantra, you can then visualize in your minds your cord being cut. So if you, basically, we have etheric connections to everyone we've come in contact with, everything we've touched, everything has like an imprint of our energy. Just heard a bang. It's alright, it's the ghosts. So yeah, so if you, especially if you have like an enemy, you'll have quite a strong connection to them. Especially if they're your ex and you've had sex with them, then they'll be even more powerful. That's why people really struggle to like get over an ex, and they keep bouncing back to them, because you have an etheric connection and you need to cut that. So whilst you're doing that, visualize your cords between your heart and their heart, and a scissors being cut or a knife being cut. The last one that you can do is, you will need a freezer to use your freezer. So same thing with this one, actually, you can do a different spell. Actually, it's probably beneficial, yeah, to do this spell as you're freezing their energy. So you're trying to freeze their negative energy that they are psychically portraying onto you. So with this spell, I'll just have it up here in a bit. You can write, so basically you write their full name. So on the piece of paper, write their full name, or on a picture of them that you print off. And you can use obviously any paper of this, probably more strong paper the better. So print a picture of them. If not, just use normal paper. And on the back of it, write their full name, their full date of birth, and state your name, so your full name this time. Put, I bind you from doing any harm against myself, and then put your full name. Go in peace, so mote it be. And to make it even more amplified, so then the same thing, you fold it away from you into a tiny, tiny little cube, as small as it can go. So probably like, you know, that size, so like really tight, but this time you do want to bind it. So as you're binding it, you can use even a little hair tie. I've used that before and it worked fine. Black is best, so if you can find the colour black, like a really thin little black hair tie works quite well, or elastic bands, or even just some string if you have string, ribbon, but black will be best as black is a protection colour. So as you're binding and wrapping it around this, keep saying that mantra, keep saying that affirmation, and say it at least 3 times. And then when you're done, put it in a plastic cup, so any cup that will be safe to freeze. Fill it with water, and then put it in the freezer, and then that's it. And then you can leave it there for at least 30 days. So if you don't want to just leave it in the freezer for good, then what you can do is after at least 30 days, possibly 90 just to be on the safer side, but at least 30, you can take it out and then find a spot to bury it in. So basically take it out and it should be all frozen, and then basically dig a hole in your garden, or preferably in the forest, like somewhere like full on immersed in nature. Crunch the ice out of the cup, so don't bury the plastic cup, just get the ice from out of the cup, and then bury it. So then it will be within the earth, so basically that energy is emitted on the earth, and then that's it, and that's all you have to do. So I hope these spells excite you and that you'll give them a go and they help you. Also, another tip, isn't vital, but I find it works best, is to do these spells on the new moon. Because what I have found in my experience is new moon spells are the best for letting go, for banishing, and also for manifesting things. So sometimes I've done a spell, more so with manifesting spells, where I'll do one on the new moon, and then by the full moon it would have manifested, so within 2 weeks. But it doesn't mean that it will work that quick. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I find new moon spells are fantastic, so yeah, try to do it on a new moon. And another reminder is, don't have hatreds, negative energy in your heart when you're thinking of this person, because then you're just going to manifest more of that energy of them giving you that energy. Because remember, what you put out, you get back. So that's why with these spells, you have to put love into it. Because then if you're showing that person love, they're going to then show it back to you. Or they'll just disappear from your life entirely if they're incapable of giving that to you. But even them just disappearing and not attacking you anymore is a loving thing to do. So always remember that, because karma is really important when you are doing spell work. Because sometimes you may not, you know, some witches don't believe in the threefold law, but I strongly do, because it happens to me. I will do a video on that in the future. I stupidly hexed someone, sort of by accident, because I didn't even know it was going to work at the time. I was 12 years old, okay? I was 12. Remember, what you reap, but what you sow, you reap, okay? So what you put out, you get back. That's why the law of attraction works. That's why gratitude works. So if you're always grateful for things, then the universe keeps giving you things back. So if you're always hexing and bitter and you want to hex and curse people, you're going to get that back to you, okay? I don't care what anyone says, you will get it back. If not in this lifetime, then the next time you will have debts, karmic debts. And then you'll have to probably live a more horrendous life to learn your lessons, to basically balance the debt, because everything you do has a consequence. So important advice there. Don't overlook that. Don't banish anyone who's done no harm to you. You know, this is for protection. This is for getting rid of energy vampires, narcissists, bullies. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you've ever done anything like this and your experiences with it. Any sort of relationship issues that you might be having, etc. I like, you know, people to discuss their issues. I want to start a community where people feel comfortable that they can actually talk and they can actually express themselves, because trust me, I've been there and I've done that. So lots of love and light to you. Ahimsa.